Mr. Cherry?
Can you hear me?
Absolutely, I can hear you perfectly. So again, everybody, thank you for joining this call this evening, and it's my pleasure now to turn it over to Mr. Cherry, our wonderful founder.
Thank you, Damon, very much. Good evening, everybody. Sorry for that, if you would, glitch in the system, as we've had a lot of issues here in Houston. For those of you that have been watching the news, we've had a lot of outs and internet interruptions. So hopefully everybody at this point can see my screen. I want to welcome you to the TriVesta Health, Wealth, and Security presentation on this Wednesday evening. I am going to go over a full suite of services that TriVesta offers for the health, wealth, and security solution. We're going to begin our presentation tonight talking about the champion product, about Prospero and what the wealth building solution does, how it impacts your life, how it massively reduces interest, and how it can help you build wealth while eliminating debt. One of the questions that we commonly run into are people wondering how to eliminate debt in a society where we are bombarded by advertising, where we're bombarded by opportunities in which to whip our credit card out and spend dollars. It's so easy compared to the old days when you had to actually go out with checks or cash in your hands to become indebted because of the credit card society that we're in. We are firm believers that the answer is not to just cut up the credit cards, which is somebody else's money. It's the bank's money issuing you credit so that you can use their money to go out and spend it prior to paying for it or paying it over time. But what our solution will do is it will teach you how to utilize the credit that's available, utilize the cash that's available to you that you saved, utilize your income as it is coming in, not on the schedule that the banks and the mortgage companies and the credit card companies, the finance companies that may be financing your cars, that they want you to pay it on, but on a program that truly will teach you how to pay those debts according to the same way that the banks would pay them if the money was in the hands of the bank. And that's really what our wealth solution does. Where has all the money gone? Where is all the majority of your revenue coming in? If you took out all of the obvious payments that you have to pay, to buying food, to buying gas, to buying shoes for your kids, to paying for the direct TV or whatever type of internet you may be paying for to get access to your TV cable. The surprising answer is interest. Interest on your mortgage, interest on your car loans, interest on your credit cards, your store cards, maybe your college debt that you're still paying on. All of the money that you have coming in, the majority of all of that money goes towards interest. When you look at paying your mortgage payment, the majority of your mortgage payment goes towards interest in the first 15 years of paying your mortgage. When you have a $200,000 mortgage at a 30-year fixed rate of 4.5%, you have a total interest paid on that $200,000 of $164,000. That means you're really paying $364,000 for that home, or that's an 82% interest rate over 30 years. That's where the majority of all of your income is going to, because that's typically the largest debt to any family is their mortgage. The Prospero account allows you to stop overpaying that interest to the bank and become the bank. Those aren't just words. You're going to learn during this session how you can stop overpaying the interest to the bank and become the bank. You can make money the way that banks do, because it's all about timing, and it's all about OPM, other people's money. Our powerful software is going to show you how to place your money in the right place at the right time. day by day, reducing interest massively, allowing you to build wealth using other people's money. And the byproduct of doing those two things are that you will pay down debt automatically. Again, this is not a debt reduction solution. There's a lot of debt reduction solutions out there. What they do, we don't want to talk negatively about here. We don't want to dispute the fact that some of those programs that are out there help you reduce debt. But what they do not do is educate you on how you pay interest, how you eliminate that interest, how you use the bank's money to become wealthy the same way that the banks use your money to become wealthy, and the byproduct is paying down debt. That's what the Prospero account does. That's what the TriVesta Health, Wealth, and Security solution as a whole provides, and you're going to get a lot of education on that tonight. Do you ever wonder how the banks accumulate wealth? I want to ask you all this question. Obviously, you're all muted and you can't answer, but I want you to answer this question in your mind as I'm asking it. Do you understand what happens to your money when you put it in the bank, in a savings account or a checking account, or maybe you even invest in some type of a CD in that account? Are you aware that by law, that when you put $10,000 in the bank, or $5,000 in the bank, or $1,000 in the bank, it doesn't matter what level you're at, no matter where you are in savings in your life, that when you put that money in the bank, that they are only required by law to have 10% of your money available to you. That the other 90% of the money that you have on deposit, the money you've worked hard for, the money that was given to you maybe by a family member passing, or maybe we're in tax season right now. Maybe you paid taxes the entire year and you're getting a check back from the government. And when you put that in the bank can use 90% of the funds that you put on deposit to loan out to other people and make interest on it, or move from account to account and earn interest on it. They're using your money to accumulate wealth. What if there was a different answer? What if there was a solution that allowed you to use that same ideology that the banks use, which is the only true way to become wealthy? You know, we're in a society where they talk to you about paying down debts, get out of debts, how to pay credit cards off. And it's almost strategic in its creation, because what they don't want you to understand is that debts are only a byproduct of not being educated enough to accumulate wealth. They don't want you to understand how to use other people's money or accumulate wealth, because that's what they do. But by understanding how to use other people's money, understanding how interest is calculated and how it can be massively reduced, the byproduct of that is reducing debt. That's what Prospero does. We're going to educate you on how to do the first two things, accumulate wealth and massively reduced interest. And the byproduct of that is reducing debt. What are the results of using Prospero? I just went over this with you. Massive. And I listen to that word, massive, because when you see some of the numbers we're going to share with you, we've had terms like it's too good to be true. It's snake oil. How can this really work in that way? How is the calculator on your website able to predict that I can reduce my mortgage from 28 years down to 10 years with the same amount of income that I have come in? And the answer is how your money comes in, how you make the payments, how your money moves from account to account, and using the fact that you have access to other people's money. If you have a credit card, when you get a credit card with $5,000 on it, that means you have access to a bank's money at $5,000 interest-free, as long as you use that $5,000 and pay that $5,000 off within a 26-day, truly 27-day, but we're going to call it 26-day cycle. You can use their money for free. It's the same way they use your money. And that's what our system will help you do. And the byproduct of that is the elimination of debt, massive debt. You're going to learn how to turn debt into wealth by reducing the interest. You're going to save 10 to 20 years in payments, not the way debt snowball programs or debt roll down programs or envelope systems teach you. You know, I was educated many years ago, my wife and I, on the Dave Ramsey solution. The Dave Ramsey solution is awesome. We're not here to dispute that Dave Ramsey doesn't have a great program. He does have a great program. But that program only teaches you how to get out of debt. We enhance that program. We are that program on hyperdrive. We're not going to teach you how to get out of debt. We're going to teach you how to reduce massive interest and build wealth, and the byproduct is to get out of debt. So again, we don't want to dispute what that program does and other programs like it. What we want to tell you is there is a better way, that you can see the true cost of the purchases you're making. There's no other program yet in existence today that will show you that if you decide to spend $1,000 today on a TV, that real decision equals $1,411 at a standard rate, a typical rate that most of our users, and you'll see this later in the program, use, because if you didn't spend that $1,000, you could reduce $411 of interest. Imagine if you had that knowledge. Would you still spend that $1,000? Or would you say, you know what, that $1,000 that I thought I could budget is really $1,411? I don't want to budget that right now. I think I'll go buy a smaller TV, or maybe I won't buy the TV at all. Or maybe you'll still decide with that knowledge, you know what, we're willing to absorb that other $411. We'll still buy that TV. But what if there was a program that could at least educate you and give you the option of making that decision? There's no other program in the world other than the Prospero account that will teach you how to do that. We're going to show you how we eliminate credit card interest fast, but by using their money. You can own your car free and clear. You can get free of student loans, and you can save tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars in mortgage interest alone. You can keep the money that you earn, that you're giving to the bank and they're earning interest off. You can keep it, and you can save for the lifestyle of your dreams. And you can do all of this while not changing your lifestyle at all. Are you used to taking your wife to dinner once a month and having that one-on-one time that truly every family, anybody who has kids, I got 4 of them, you've got to know that no matter whether you have 1 kid, whether you have 4, or whether you have more than that, God bless you, that you need that one-on-one time. That's what makes a healthy relationship. We don't want you to change that. We don't want you to change your mortgage. What we say by that is we're not going to ask you to go out and refinance, and we're not going to ask you to double down on your mortgage. The system may, through the utilization of funds you have available, have you strategically pay outside of what you're currently paying. But that doesn't come from your pocket. It comes from OPM, other people's money that you have accessible to you. Savings accounts that you tell us, maybe I have $5,000 in. I don't ever want to go below $4,000, because if a major tragedy happened, I need that $4,000 to fall back on, but I have $1,000 of extra money I can make available to you. A system that understands every aspect of what you have available, what you owe, and what the interest is, and it will strategically, using the same algorithms that the banks use and that the Federal Reserve uses, it will use those same algorithms. They're patented in our software, and allow you to become as knowledgeable as the banker who takes your money and does the same thing day by day with your money. That's what we're going to educate you on, and we're going to do that by not increasing any of your monthly payments. This is a change to fundamentally what Americans have been taught. We have 4,300 Prospero users nationwide. 4,247, as you see on your screen. We have over 4,300, but we broke it down into categories. Those 4,247 users, these are facts. When I say facts, I want you to please understand something, that we are a direct marketing company, that everything I'm saying to you and everything that I post online or everything that we say on our website has to be backed up by facts, or the FTC, which regulates all of the marketing that happens nationwide, whether you're a bank, whether you're an investment company, an insurance company, or a company like us, a direct marketing company. If we can't back it up by facts, they'll come shut us down. I want you to understand, everybody who's on this call tonight, that these are the facts, that we downloaded this from the information that 4,300 users entered into our system. The average mortgage was $222,387. The average interest was 4.875 with an average mortgage payment of $1,204. I do want to throw a caveat out there. That mortgage payment does not include your taxes or your private mortgage insurance. That's just actual mortgage payment, because your taxes are different depending on where you live, and your private mortgage insurance is different upon where you live. This is just mortgage payment based off of the 4.875%. Your average credit card debt across whether you have one credit card or 5 credit cards was $10,377 by the average family. The average of all their other debts, when we say all other debts, student loans, car loans, tax liens, child support, just it goes on and on. Whatever all your other debts are was $28,757 to the average family, giving the average family a total debt of $261,521. Those average families had $5,702 per month of income net after they paid taxes. That's between whether you got paid once a month, 4 times a month, twice a month, bi-monthly, 26 payments in a year, however you got it, it averaged to $5,702. And the average discretionary income, look, this is huge, $336 per family. That means after all the food, all the gas, all the car payments, all the bills, all the cable, you were left with $336 to go out and enjoy life. If you spent more than $336, you were going further into debt. Those are real statistics. Let's look at the results of Prospero. The results. We were able to save each one of these families over the last 4 years from them using our system. It showed they were going to save $102,360 over the life of using this program. The life of using this program, and I want to show you that, you're going to go down 4 lines. The average life, and actually I think I have a highlighter here. Let me use a highlighter so I can shoot a spotlight. If you see this on my screen, the average time would be 10.6 years. You went from 28.5 years of being in debt. We saved you 17.9 years on your debt, down to 10.6 years. Over that same amount of time that you would have just owned your home, that's it, and paid your debts off by using some other program that uses a debt roll down effect or a snowball effect or whatever they're going to use, you would have saved $102,360 in interest, and you will have accumulated $997,534 to the penny in a savings account. And that's based off of a 1% return. Again, because the FTC looks at everything we say, we have to say that's assuming that you're not doing anything with your money. You're not making a great return. You're just throwing it in savings and you're earning 1%. Now you're going to say that's impossible. How could I, 30 years from now, with only $336 available to me every month and the rest is all out to bills, build $1 million in wealth? It's snake oil. It's too good to be true. I am here to tell you it is called math. It is absolutely true, because the banks, by using your money and using the same algorithms that are built into our system, will accomplish that same goal over time using your money. What we're going to educate you is this is not fantasy. This is not too good to be true. This is not snake oil. This is facts. It's called math. It's the law of math. If you throw an apple in the air, it's going to fall to the earth. It's the law of gravity. Math has that same type of law applied to it. If you bought a house today and you went and bought it and financed it for 30 years, by law, they have to disclose to you how much interest you're going to pay over 30 years, and they have to disclose to you the exact day you're going to own your home. How do they know that? How can they project 30 years into the future? Because it's called math. And if we know instead that we can reduce that interest based on how your money comes in, the fact that you have $5,702 available to you, and that you have access to OPM, other people's money, because you're going to put in what your personal lines of credit are, what your credit card debts are. Maybe you have some equity lines. Whatever you have available to you, what you have available is other people's money, access to the bank's money. And we're going to show you how to use their money to reverse the role, save the interest, accumulate wealth, and get out of debt in record time. That's what the Prospero does. We're very proud to bring this. We believe that we are going to help change America. America has needed a product like Prospero and needed a company like TriVesta for many, many years, and we're proud to be here and finally be the solution that you've been looking for. We're going to do this also by helping you, and I want you to understand something. Actually, I need to go back a slide. I'm going to go back one slide. You're going to see this. Last view. What I'm about to show you in this algorithm, in the results and what your uses are, assumes that you have all the same debts. Imagine if you didn't have to save for college and you had more dollars to apply to building wealth, eliminating interest, which thus means you're going to reduce debt. That's what we provide. We're the only company in America that has a contract with the American Collegiate and University Association through Sage Scholars to provide you what we can provide you. By utilizing our program and caring enough about your family and caring enough about your debt and caring enough about building wealth, that the colleges are partnered with us, and we're going to provide you points by being a member. And you're going to see what the memberships are later. 2,000 points annually for silver, 5,000 points annually for gold, 10,000 points annually for platinum. Platinum means you have 2 or more mortgages, gold means you have 1 mortgage, and silver means you're a renter or a lessor. You don't have a house, you're just paying somebody to live in something that they're providing you. And every one of your beneficiary receives 2,000 points annually. Let me go over real fast. What is a beneficiary? A beneficiary is any child, grandchild, niece or nephew, great-grandchild or great-niece or nephew that you have. Every single one of them. I want you to think about that as you're on this call right now. Again, you're like, how? Hold on, what are you talking about? What are these points? I'm about to explain that to you. Every beneficiary. Do you know the average family in America has between brothers and sisters and their own kids 7 children that they can give a college scholarship to? Listen to the word I just said. Give a college scholarship to in the form of points. So every beneficiary, your average of 7 of them would receive 2,000 points, or that's 14,000 points a year. And our average member who owns 1 home gets 5. That means that's 19,000 points a year that you would receive by being a member of TriVesta and caring enough about your future and building wealth and eliminating debt that the colleges are willing to partner with you and give you those $19,000 through TriVesta. Every one of those points equals $1. That's 19,000 points equals $19,000. And you can take those $19,000 every year. And by the way, that means if you're with us 2 years, you have $38,000. If you're with us 3 years, you have $57,000. And you take those points and they can go to a college, and those colleges will give you a discount off of the cost of going to that college for 4 years. So if you're with us 2 years and you have that $38,000, they're going to divide that $38,000 by 4 years, and that's how much credit you get each year off the cost of going to college. Do you understand what I just said? Do you understand how powerful that is? We're going to help change families' lives in America. And we hope that you're on this call because you care enough about your family, your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers, the people you go to church with, that you care enough to change their life too. We are creating a movement, and we're glad that you're here listening and hopefully going to join us on this mission. While we're doing that, that was our champion product. We care so much about you building wealth and so much about eliminating debt and interest and speaking into the lives of your children that we've got to protect their identity and your identity, which is precious and vulnerable while we're doing it. We're going to give you, I got to go to that last view, we're going to give you access to a security and an ID security solution that will rival the solution that you'd pay dollars for, the ID shields and LifeLocks of the world, that for a family plan would charge you an average of $20 a month. I think it's actually $17.95 or something like that, maybe $18 a month. They charge you $18 a month to give you that security, and you get it for being a member of TriVesta and caring about your future. We're going to not only do that, but we are going to give you Keystroke Guard, which protects all of your devices, something no other security company does. We're going to give you software that will sit on your devices, and it will encrypt everything you type. So those keyloggers who over the last 4 years have infiltrated every major company in America, Case, the IRS, Blue Cross Blue Shield through Anthem, Home Depot, all of those companies, they're countless. Hospital networks, doctors' offices, small businesses, large businesses have been hacked into, and people are stealing your identity and your credit cards and your identity being compromised. We're going to give you a solution that solves that 99.9999% of the time. We can't say 100, because if we say 100, somebody will sue us. But to date, it's never been compromised. We're going to do all of that along with the identity theft protection and monitoring that we already told you is part of the TriVesta solution. Imagine the dollars that you would save there just by being in our program that could also go into helping you build wealth, reduce interest, which means you're going to eliminate debt. And then let's talk about health. Where's the doctor? Night times, weekends, holidays. You know, holiday weekends, long weekends. How about here in Houston? I want to share something with you. We've had a lot of rain lately. Offices and businesses have been closed down for 4.5 days straight. Doctors that you've come to trust, that your kids get sick over this weekend, you can't get to them because their offices are closed down. People can't get to work. Whole hospital networks are closed down. You have to drive a half hour to get to a hospital room because the one that's closest to you is flooded and shut down, and the nurses and doctors can't get to work. What are you going to do when a kid gets sick? I'll tell you what you're going to do. Your option is take it to an urgent care if there's one close by that's open, and that'll cost you an average of $300 in America, or an emergency room at a hospital that is up the road, or maybe you had to drive a half hour to if you're in Houston this last week, and that's $1,000 to go to an emergency room, whether you have insurance or not. These are your co-pays for going to those types of solutions. Those are your out-of-pocket. Most families right now are averaging somewhere around $5,000 to $6,000 out of pocket. That means when you go to an emergency room and urgent care, you're paying 100% of what it costs to go there. And then they're going to tell you what's wrong with your child. 70% of those cases aren't emergency. Look, if your child broke a leg, fractured a leg, fell down, really hurt themselves, you injured yourself in some way, shape, or form, you cut yourself, you're still going to have to go to an urgent care or emergency room. We're never going to solve that for you. But do you know that 70% of all of the cases in America where you would be going there can be solved because you just need, it's a cold, it's a flu. You need a doctor to diagnose the fact that you need a prescription refill. Maybe you're a diabetic and you ran out of medicine. You didn't time it right. How do I get access to the medicine? Because if you're a diabetic, you have to have it. High blood pressure medicine. Maybe you're on vacation. Because it's raining and flooding in Houston, you flew just in case your family was at risk. You were smart, and you flew to your brother's house in New York, and you realize you left your medicine at home. How are you going to get access to medicine? You're going to go pay big dollars to see a doctor at an urgent care who's going to prescribe it for you. Or you could use MDGo, our solution, and you could get access to a doctor in 15 minutes who is going to look up your medical records. They're going to prescribe medicine if it's needed, especially in that case of that diabetic or high blood pressure medicine we just talked about. And in another 15, 20 minutes, you can be at a local pharmacy picking it up. And do you know what your cost is? Nothing. You don't pull out a credit card. There's no debit charge to your account. You pay absolutely nothing for being a member of TriVesta, because that's extra dollars that you could put towards building wealth, eliminating interest, and reducing debt so that you can create a better future tomorrow, starting today, for your children. Because that's what TriVesta is all about, building a better tomorrow starting today, especially for our children. I have a passion for children. That's what MD Go does. I'm sorry I'm behind on the slide. I'm going to do that. It's colds, flu, fever, skin infections, diarrhea, infections, sore throat, urinary tract infection, headache. Think of all the things. Think when your kid goes to school, you know what they have. Every kid in the school has it. But you still have to go to a doctor, sit in a room full of sick people so the doctor can see you for, on average, 7.5 minutes. And then some nurse is going to come in and tell you what you need, and then you're going to check out and run to a pharmacy, and all that time you used valuable vacation time or sick leave from your company that you could have been spending with your kids. It could have been family time, but instead you're using it to go to a doctor's office. Now you can save that time because you can just pick up the phone and call using MD Go. You can do it by video or over the phone, and we're going to help you because you don't have to do that anymore. That's the TriVesta solution. That's the movement we're creating. We are going to change America with our programs. Let me tell you some of the averages. These are big numbers. I don't want to go over all of these. Let me go over the big ones. Do you know that you spend $2,676 average, the average family does annually, just to save for college, putting it into maybe a 401k or a 529B, 521B, I can't remember the exact, 521, 529. The average software that you put on your computer, like Norton's antivirus or something like that, is $20. And then protecting your identity, $89.95. The average identity protection, there's that $17.95. Software, I'm sorry, for your identity is $89.95 on your system. The average family pays $6,658 in interest. That's on your home. That's on your cars, your boats, maybe the loans that you have. $6,658 a year. What do all those numbers mean to you monthly? This is what they mean monthly. Again, this is the average across all Americans, okay? College, $223 a month across the 529B. There it is, the 401k. Security, $27.12 a month for that Norton's antivirus and that identity protection that you have. Your wealth, $554.84 a month in interest payments on your mortgage and your car loans. $109.84 a month is what you spend average a year taking your kids to the doctor and paying the co-pays, or an emergency room that maybe 70% of the time you didn't need to go to. Prescription, $64.52. We can eliminate all of that with the TriVesta Health, Wealth, and Security solution. You have 3 levels of membership that we talked before. You're going to be like, that sounds too good to be true. How can you get rid of that? It's part of our solution, and it's simple as 3 memberships: silver, gold, and platinum. Silver means you have no mortgage. You're a renter or you're a lessor. You're going to get access to every one of those packages we just talked about for an activation fee of only $199.95 and then $99.95 a month every month after that. Now, the family plan, if you have an entire family, it's actually an additional $15 over that, but that protects your entire family. It gives access to the medical solution for your whole family. It gives you 2,000 points of scholarship to you and 2,000 to every child. It gives you the keystroke guard and ironclad ID. And it gives the ironclad ID, the identity protection, and the ID resolution for every member of your family for that $15. We're just passing it through at cost because, again, we're here to help you, not to hurt you, not to help you go more in debt. And for a limited time, you can get that at $79.95. The gold and the platinum does the same thing. The difference is that on gold you have one mortgage, on platinum you have two or more mortgages. Two or more mortgages, or maybe it's not even a mortgage. Maybe you have one mortgage and a boat loan, one mortgage and a fifth wheel. You know, you like to travel the country, whatever those two major amortized schedules are. We really need to change that to say amortized schedules. Then you get, everybody gets the MD Go prescription card, which I'm not even going to go to in here. You can see that on the website. It's an added bonus. The TriVesta Pets card that will save you hundreds a year, and the high cost, I mean the exorbitant cost of trying to get prescriptions for your pets, all those shots, all those anti-bug oils that you're rubbing under their skin or in their neckline. Exorbitant cost. We can save you on every one of those. But you get 10,000 points for scholarship a year, plus every one of your beneficiaries get 2 under silver, 5,000 under gold. Every one of your beneficiaries gets 2 there. So it's the same plans, and then it's $149 or $199 a month, limited time. The first 1,000 members to come into TriVesta, to care enough to come in and speak into other people's lives, either as an advocate, or maybe you're just going to come in as a member. You still count as those 1,000s because you care enough about your family. $99.95 and $149.95 for platinum. When you look at all the savings that we just provided, that $99.95 is a ridiculous low number. We've had so many people tell us that that's just ridiculous. You should charge 2 or 3 times that. Well, we could charge that, but we're not going to charge that. The first 1,000 people that come in, you are going to get that price. You can do all of this while having no inventory. Realize all of those products that I shared with you are products that speak into your health, wealth, and security, and they're not something that you buy, that we ship to you in boxes and that you put on a shelf in your garage, in your pantry, and then you got to go out and sell to your friends and neighbors. Imagine, even though you're talking to them about this, you're not really selling them anything. It's the same as if you went and told them about some great restaurant you ate at. It was the greatest dish you ever had. That's what you're sharing with them, how to change their lives. At this point, I'm going to step away. I'm going to let Damon Wallace, our National Director of Field Development, speak to you about our fabulous compensation plan, the unlimited earning potential that you have if you decide to come in as an advocate, and you're going to do it on your way and your schedule. Damon's going to speak into that, and I want to thank you greatly for the time that you've given to me, the time that you've given to care enough about your family to listen, the time that you've given here as you're sitting here listening, that hopefully you listened enough that you can understand that you could speak into other people's lives by sharing this with them, and by doing that, you can build an income for yourself. I want to liken this before I hand it over to Damon. Imagine if you bought something so wonderful at Target, had a sale, that you sent people to Target or Best Buy because of some great deal you had. And every time they went to Target and they bought that product, because it was such a great deal, Target or Best Buy sent you a check. That's what TriVesta does. I know a lot of people don't understand, well, what is this compensation plan that you have? It's about you caring enough about other people that if you just tell them about this product you got a great price on, this car you got a great price on, this food that you ate that was just amazing, that then when they went there and spent the dollars, that place shared that revenue that they earned with you. That is how TriVesta's compensation plan is put together. It's about people, helping people, helping people. And with that, I want to introduce Damon Wallace.
Wow, Joe, I'm just super ecstatic. I mean, I'm ready to go out and talk to a whole bunch of people as soon as we get off this call. I got to tell you, there's a mission here that we hold firm as an organization, and that is to go out and help 1 million families get out of debt and send 1 million kids to college. Now, if that's a mission that doesn't drive you or really light you up and give you the passion that you need to be successful in this business, then I don't know what will, because what we do is absolutely help people from the very beginning of us sitting down with somebody and educating them on the way that their money is working and how banks are taking advantage of their situation and have been for years. I mean, we really start to have that lifelong connection with people that we're going to connect with them. And while we're doing so, we're helping them with their kids being able to afford to go to college, and all while being compensated for doing so. So with that, let me go ahead and just dive into a couple quick points on our compensation model. Let me go ahead and take back the control of the screen for a second. And here is our compensation model. So what we have is a compensation model that has 7 primary components to it. The first of which is our marketing phase, which has 3 parts. The $40 to $100 member activation bonus. Whenever you enroll a new member, you have the ability to get compensated for that. Now, that's off of the anywhere between the $199 and the $299 once somebody pays their first month. Then every month after that, we pay 10 to 20% on a member retention bonus. That means that if somebody has been lucky enough to take advantage of the $99 gold level package, that every month once you sign up that member, after that first month activation, you're going to get anywhere between $10 and $20 off of that particular subscription, because it's that powerful. Every time that member pays their dues, they actually are going to pay you pretty well. And we're really ecstatic about being able to share in that wealth as we're helping people. So the next thing that we have is a check match. So the check match is a 20% check match. I'm going to dive into the member activation bonus and to the check match a little bit more on the next slide. So I'll kind of bypass those. The next one that we have is the management phase. So as you go out and share this story with other people who decide that they want to become advocates, then you now have your first generation person. And every time that first generation person goes out and they make a sale, you're going to get compensated 6% of the volume on that sale. So it pays really well to go out and just share this with other people who want to go share it with other people. When you get to the position of regional, you actually have the ability to get paid on a second generation, and I use the term kids and grandkids loosely. So whenever you enroll an advocate who goes and makes a sale, that's like a kid. Whenever they go out and enroll an advocate, that's like your second generation, like your grandkid. So imagine getting paid 6% on all the volume that your kids and grandkids continue to produce. And then we have a 4% tier bonus that pays up to 7 levels deep. That means if somebody makes a sale in your organization up to 7 levels deep, that means if somebody makes a sale who makes a sale, 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 7 levels deep, you have the ability to get paid on it. It's phenomenal. Now, you may not even know, and chances are you never met the person on your 7th level, but guess what? You're still going to get paid when they go make a sale. Now, the executive phase, you get 2% ambassador leadership team bonus on all the volume of your organization once you reach the position of ambassador. So it pays to go out and really help take your business serious and help a lot of people. And when you do, you get to override all the volume that's happening in that organization. Then when you help someone else become an ambassador, you get a 2 to 3% generational bonus on those ambassadors. So in our marketing phase, again, you have the member activation bonus. As an advocate, you get paid $40, whether it's a silver, gold, or platinum sale. You're going to make $40 on every one of those sales as an advocate. When you get promoted to a senior advocate, if you make a sale that's at the gold or platinum level, you're going to make $55. And if an advocate in your organization makes a sale, you have the ability to get paid up to $15 for those sales, infinite levels deep in your organization. As a regional, you get a pay bump. So now this business center is going to make $70. And if inside of that business center, an advocate goes out and makes a sale, they're going to get the $40, but guess what? You get paid up to $30 for every one of those sales that takes place in your organization. Then, as a director, You make $85 when you personally go and make a sale. And when somebody in your organization makes a sale, you make up to $45 in that business center. Then as an executive, you get $100. And then once somebody makes a sale in your organization, you get paid up to $60 in this business center. The check match. So let's assume that you go out and you bring in a superstar. And this superstar really just takes off. And that's what you want them to do, because when you come in as an advocate through a regional advocate, you get a 10% check match on anybody who you personally sponsored into the business. So if you bring in an advocate and they go out and they make a $10,000 for that month, you just made $1,000. If you get to the position of director or even to executive director, which is a 20% match, you actually would get on that same person when they went out and they made their 10,000 as an executive, you would actually earn $2,000. So it pays to actually go out and introduce this to other people who are sharing the same story. So here's a couple examples just to make sure that you understand how that part works and the real power behind it. So as a senior advocate, if you made a sale, you personally would get 55. Well, if that advocate inside of your business code makes a sale, you're going to get the $15 difference between what you would get paid for making that sale and what that advocate would get paid. If you get promoted to regional, or when you get promoted to regional, you normally would get $70 if you personally make a sale. Well, if there's a senior advocate in your organization who has someone who makes a sale in their organization, that advocate is going to get 40. The senior advocate in that organization is going to make 15, and you still get an override of $15 on every sale in your organization. Well, what if you personally enrolled that advocate who went out and made a sale? The advocate is still going to make 40, but because there is no senior advocate between you and that advocate, you get the full override of $30. Now, let me tell you how powerful this really becomes. We have two ways that really maximize your income. We focused heavily on residual income, and residual income is my favorite part. Residual income is also called walk away money, right? It puts you in a great position where you can go out and you can build an organization and you don't have to always be there. You can go on vacation. You can go begin to really enjoy the income that you're making. See, when you go to work, you get a check. When you go to work, you get a check. If you don't go to work, you don't get a check. That's the traditional business model. Well, if you're thinking about that from your job, right? If you don't show up for work, you don't get compensated. Well, here, you go out, you do the work, and you build a team of 30 people, and you get each of them to go out and find 4 total members at an average commission of $3.20, which, believe me, is actually a low end. You actually get paid much more on many other parts of this compensation model. This is one of the lower points that we have in our compensation. You still have a residual of $384. What if you take your business a little more serious and you build your team to 300 advocates, and now you have a residual income of $3,840? Well, we got some people who really are going to get swept up in the mission of going out and impacting 1 million lives. Well, in doing that and getting swept up into that mission and really grabbing a hold of it and making it yours, let's say you grew an organization of $3,000 or 3,000 advocates. Well, now you're going to make $38,000. And this is, again, residual income. And it's that money that once you build it, as long as these memberships continue to stay on the books, which we have a very high retention rate, you're going to get paid that every single month. Every single month you can expect this to come into your account. So it takes a while to build up the residual side of this. So how do you make money while you're building up to that $38,000? Well, if you have just 50 of your advocates who make 4 sales in a month, you make a $30 commission as a regional, you're going to make $6,000 off of that. What if you had 100 people in your organization who were really working? You would now make $12,000. If you had 150 people in your organization working, you would make $18,000. Some people say, you know what, that's a lot. I mean, I can't really see that for myself. You know, there's this thing called cognitive dissonance. And what that means is that if something is so far away from what you believe you can do, then it begins to kind of shut down. So let me give you an example of what it would take just to get to 1,500. So it only means that you have 50 and 50 open line activations at $30. This is something that's a very doable and very low number for somebody once they reach the position of regional. And what we're talking about is now getting an extra $1,500 for going out and making that happen. So we get paid really well for going out and doing what we do residually, as well as stuff that we pay. And these open line activations, these commissions that we're talking about, we actually pay this on a weekly basis. We pay the residual monthly, but these other components, the member activation bonuses, we pay these weekly. So imagine coming to your account, opening it up, and seeing that every week you've got comma checks or sometimes 5-figure checks that are in your account because you helped build an organization. You helped us lock in arms with this mission and go out and make this a reality for you and your family. On top of having a phenomenal product set, phenomenal compensation plan, we have stunning personalized websites for you. We have top quality videos that will begin to tell the story for you. And we are constantly in talks about how we can make them better. We spent 4 hours today alone in a meeting talking about how we can make it easier for everybody who engages with this process and tells the story, how we can make it easier for you to go out and have more success. We have a high impact calculator. This calculator is for Prospero. If you have someone who is interested in sharing, or rather learning how they can save money and not pay as much to the banks, they can literally go to a calculator and it will tell them exactly how much our system will save them using their debt, their income, their expenses, and their discretionary income. They'll know exactly what it's going to save them. So it's a phenomenal tool to be able to add on to making it a stronger case that they need to move forward with our membership. Then we have beautiful brochures. We have an easy to use flip chart. We have a quick start guide that can help you. And we also have a mobile app. And this mobile app it's one of the best I've ever seen. And I've been in the industry for a long time. And what Joe invested in was a multiple 6-figure tool to be able to help you run your business right there from your phone. From everything from sending out videos to sorting the contacts in your phone into categories where you can say whether they're a hot prospect, whether they're a cold prospect, whether it's somebody you just don't want to talk to. You can go in and sort. And once you do find out that, hey, this is somebody who I really want to send information to, you can send them videos, you can send them posts from social media right there from your phone and run everything. As we begin to have version 2 roll out, you'll be able to run everything from your phone, even signing up someone for the membership right there on the spot. So again, what we have is a life-changing opportunity for those who we impact as members, and a life-changing opportunity for those who decide to become advocates and really help us take this seriously to the next level. So with that, I thank you for taking the time to jump onto the call, and we have nothing but love for the people who have helped us to be able to share the message, and thank you, each and every one of you, for joining the call, whether this is your first time hearing the information or whether this is something that you're a part of the organization and just learning to do it better. I want to thank you once again. My name is Damon Wallace, Director of Field Development, and on behalf of myself, TriVesta, and Joe Cherry, our owner, we are pleased to have you. And I'm going to stop the recording, and I'll actually take a moment to answer any questions that anybody may have at this time.